The club said they didn't want to sign Bradley Barcola last year for £75 million because it would block the pathway for Rio. That was put out there. Search it, do a Google check of it. You'll find multiple articles written to say just that. Now, here we are 12 months later, where we're about to go for the same player. So we clearly now have no concerns about blocking Rio's path with them, but we're going to pay at least 30 or 40 million quid more. How is that sensible? How is that good planning? And how is that good financial management from the club? To pay 40 or 50 million quid more for a player you could have had last year, but you didn't sign because you put out the old reliable excuse about not blocking a pathway for Rio. Now, here we are 12 months later, and that all of a sudden isn't a concern now. Why is that? Because nothing else has changed except Salah's gone. So why is it now not a problem to block Rio's pathway or potentially block his pathway? And you're going to have your pants pulled down on the price. And delaying anything till next year is only going to get more expensive again, as we've already seen with this summer's prices. So again, I see the trolls in saying moan, moan, moan. You tell me what's positive then. I don't know what deals have been worked on. Do I? Fair enough. I know this. I know that we're 9 weeks from a transfer window. We've made one fucking signing. That's what I know. I know the Premier League starts in less than 3 weeks and the manager hasn't got a squad together. That's what I know. So I don't need to know what transfers they're working on. But the journalists that are being briefed by the club are also fuming about it. And you'll start to see that over the coming days. So I will continue to moan, 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 moan and moan again because I'm right. I'm right to moan. And the people that aren't moaning are doing you a disservice because it's going to be a piss take. And again, don't care if you don't like what I have to say. I didn't drag your ass in here. But I'm right. It's set up to be a shit show. Last year it was an even bigger shit show. And none of it has been corrected. So just say you don't care about the club and move on. Because trying to pretend that you're a rational human being looking at this situation, feeling anything other than frustration and anger, it's beyond comprehension to me. Jorge said, concerning Isak and Elliott looked awful. Do you know what? I was looking at, you won't believe this, but I was looking at the player ratings last night on the Echo. And they gave Isak a 5 and said that he looked sharp. And I just thought, you what now? A 5 now, is it? A fucking 5. And then they said of, who was it they said this about? They gave the same score to Morrison and said that he made some mistakes. And I'm thinking, Morrison worked his ass off in that match. Morrison did some great defensive work last night. And then the piece de resistance came when I got to Rio's score. Do you want to guess what they gave Rio for his performance last night? And again, this isn't to knock the kid. This is just me saying this is just nonsense. And whoever's writing them just doesn't know what they're looking at. They gave Rio an 8 out of 10 for his performance yesterday. How? In what world did giving the ball away 3 or 4 times, both in offense and defense, deserve an 8? And I love the kid. I love his skill levels. I love the excitement. But he makes mistakes, and that's okay. But to just lie and go out and go, an A, he deserved an A. Are you mad? Are you mad? Nobody on that pitch deserved an A outside of maybe Szoboszlai and Leone. That's just crazy. Mr. A. Santino said, again, what team in the middle of a sale ever buys players? We're not buying anybody. We're not getting anyone. Players are saying it's too expensive. But we're not in a sale. Or at least we don't know that we're in a sale. We know that there's investment coming on. But, you know, I couldn't sit here and tell you that we are going to be sold or not. I just don't know, mate. I don't think any of us can say that categorically. But what we can say is whether you're right or wrong. And by the way, I understand your thought process on it. But that still doesn't make it acceptable or okay. You know, just because they might want to sell doesn't mean that they don't have a duty to make sure that this season isn't a shit show. Or to make sure that we don't have even bigger injury concerns that makes their own asset less valuable if Champions League football isn't on the horizon. I don't know. I just don't see the logic. Even if you're right, I just don't see the logic in it. You know, why would you not want your team to be looking good? It's crazy to me. Itachi said, do we sign Barcola? Well, rather than me give you an answer, let's put it to a poll. And I'll give you my take at the end of the stream. I promise you that, mate. I'm not going to hide away from answering it. But I just want to see how people feel. So, for Itachi's poll, do we sign Barcola? Yes or no? And we'll see how people feel about it. We'll check back in on it in a few minutes. Mutz said Benidorm are doing more transfer business than us. Everybody's doing more transfer business than us. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely insanity to think that this team is capable, without a huge slice of luck, of having a memorable season. We are fucked, said Ryan. Right, let me just put it this way. So, you're the CEO of a company and you're running your company, and in your company you have layers of managers below you. And the club, or excuse me, the owners of your company that you're CEO of come in and say to you that they're removing one person from every level of management and they're going to go with the most senior and experienced ones and just take all them out of your management structure and just move them all aside and replace them with trainees. Now, logically, is your business going to suffer when the most experienced people that have been part of building the success of this business have been pushed aside and new inexperienced people who are cheaper have been brought in? Do you think your business is going to continue to strive and do well? Or do you think that it might be a cause for concern? I think logically you'd probably say, Craig, it might be a cause for concern. If you're getting rid of the senior experienced people in your industry and replacing them with interns or young people just out of college who haven't yet got the experience. That's what's happening at our club. International caliber centre-backs are being sent packing for free. Record-breaking right-wingers having their contract ripped up and let go for free. The best left-back we've had in a generation allowed to go and join Spurs on a free. That's what's happened. And what's the replacement? Costas, who isn't good enough for Roma. Nobody in Canades and nobody yet in Salas. So how is it going to be any better? It defies logic to believe it's going to be better. Rolfie said, it's time to make FSG out viral. I'm not going back to 2012 and being happy with top four. So tired of fans saying FSG saved us. We're just an investment. Exactly. Exactly, Rolfie. And I know people think I'm on a tirade against FSG, but I let you in on a little secret, Rolfie. In my mind, I feel like I've given them more than the benefit of the doubt. By a long way. In my mind, I feel like I've given them the credit for the good things. Genuinely, I do. And I call them out for the things they've done wrong. And I've always said, I don't mind how much money they pocket when they sell the club. Don't mind, that's theirs to make, never had an issue with it. But I do have an issue with them not coming in and backing our manager. That I have a huge issue with. Because then you're impacting all of us. You're okay to line your pockets. You know, you're the owners, do that. But you cannot be the custodians of the football club and not make it compete. That is a dereliction of duty and that is unacceptable as a fan.